Welcome to the Movement PT Coffee Cast, where we sit down and talk about physical therapy, health, and whatever else comes to mind during our coffee-infused conversations. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Movement PT Coffee Cast. My name is Dalton, and I'm coming at you with an EspressoCast this week. The EspressoCast is one of the two versions of the PT Coffee Cast that we put out on a weekly basis. This episode is one of either myself or Will sitting down talking about a topic, an idea, something that came up in clinic, or just something that came up during one of our coffee-infused conversations, and we wanted to share it with you guys. The other episodes that we have are interview episodes where we sit down and talk with other healthcare professionals about the state of the profession, how we can move forward, how we can be better, and the main goal is to help bridge the gap between what's actually going on in care and what people are learning in school, or just other healthcare professionals out there, just kind of getting us hopefully all on the same page with this information. So, before I dive into today's EspressoCast, I just want to talk to you guys and say thank you. Thank you for the constant support on the podcast. We read your reviews. We get your feedback through our Instagram page. We appreciate it. It really does mean the world to us. It keeps pushing us forward to put out these episodes. It also helps us learn. Like we learn, we connect, we figure out what we can do better. We have people reach out with questions. It's what we want to do. We want to build a community where people can feel comfortable asking these questions, and me and Will are going to try to do our best to give you the information that we know or what we've experienced so far in our career and in life. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to take a quick sip of coffee. Before we get into it, if you guys want the good coffee, if you want the original blend, head to themovementpts.com, get yourself a bag. We ship to the US, we ship to Canada. Sorry, UK, Australia, we're not shipping there yet. But if you guys are within those two areas, get yourself a bag. It's delicious, it's easy to drink, and makes a good cup. I highly suggest you use an AeroPress to make it. My favorite way of making coffee is the AeroPress. It's simple, it's cheap, it's a consistent cup every time, and I think you guys will really love it. All right, now we're going to get into the episode. So, with PT school basically starting, so it's crazy. It's about a year out since I graduated and since Will graduated, and now I'm kind of thinking, all right, everyone's gearing up to go back to school, or new students are coming in as brand new physiotherapy students, and I thought maybe let's just talk a little bit about what I would have considered more in PT school when I entered, and then I could share it with you guys to think. It's not necessarily tips. I don't want to say tips. There's a million different things that you can go and search out and find all these tips on how to be successful. I just want to give you 3 things that I wish I would have considered more in PT school when I entered. So first and foremost off the bat, number 1, have or find an outlet. This is something that I struggled with when I went into physio school. It's something that I still have a little bit of trouble with. But you go to school, you're going to get bombarded with work. It's going to be overwhelming at first. You're going to be like, how am I going to be able to do this? You're meeting new people. You're trying to form relationships. It can be very, very overwhelming. And if you have an outlet that can just give you some time to yourself, something that you enjoy that's separate from physiotherapy, it's great. So like in my first year, I had that maybe through working out, but again, that became something that I just did. So it necessarily wasn't an outlet exactly. It's hard, it's good to turn off a little bit from your classmates and from the physiotherapy world. So kind of as I went into my second year, the podcast was definitely a positive outlet for me. I know it is physiotherapy related, but it's something that I really come to enjoy to do. And I would come home and we would record episodes and I would edit it and all that stuff. So it became an outlet that I really enjoyed and helped me kind of take my mind off of my schoolwork. Another good outlet for myself that I started to develop was taking the time to read non-physiotherapy related information. So a book that I enjoyed, whether it be fiction or nonfiction, taking the time to read that and not thinking about physiotherapy. So those were 2 things that I started to develop into my second year, and it helped me a lot. It just gave me that time to step away, relax, realize that there's more to life than just physiotherapy school, because when you're in it, you don't really think that there is anything else to life but that. So that's number 1. Number 2, control your own learning. So this is a thing that me and Will preach a lot, and we come to realize during our second year of physio school, is that there's so much information out there that you can access that can help develop you as a clinician and as a human. And I really hope that you guys will take control of this, because it's hard. You're in school and you're getting all this information at once, and it's being dictated to you by the faculty, by the information that you need to pass the board exam, which is most important, which, sometimes that information isn't the most up to date, etc. We don't have to get into that, but there is a lot more out there that can help you. And we started to realize that. So seek outside information. It can be on Instagram, it can be research articles, it can be podcasts, it can be Twitter. There's so much good opportunity for you to get pushed towards more information that can open up your eyes to help you learn and develop, and bring that to what you're learning in school, and use both of those things as a way to develop yourself. I also really highly suggest you look outside of the PT field. Like, I learned so much from reading books that were written, by psychologists, listening to podcasts that talk about like growth and development and how you can work on your internal self, and all of this really helpful information that I've learned a lot of tools that's made me a better person. And now as I practice, I start to realize that these tools and these strategies are super important to help the people that you see on a daily basis. And it isn't in your scope. It isn't in your physiotherapy quote unquote hand marks scope, and you don't learn it in school. And so I really hope that you guys take the opportunity in the age that we live in to access the information that's going to help supplement what you're learning in school. And then number 3, I would definitely use my placements more as an opportunity to build my communication skills. I've been out a year now, and communication, connection, and the ability to verbalize and educate to the people that you're seeing has by far been the most apparent thing to me. It's been the most challenging thing for me. And yes, you need to be able to develop your skills and understand different systems and all of that stuff that comes along with the territory of being a physiotherapist. You do need to understand those. And I'm not saying don't understand them, but what I am saying is that use the opportunity that you do have on placements, because it is short. Like in my program, we only got 5 6-week placements. It's not a lot. So I would say take advantage of those placements and work on how are you going to communicate to someone effectively? How are you going to connect with that patient and get on the same level with them so that you can build a therapeutic alliance and trust? How are you going to learn how to take the information that you know and put it in ways that is going to help that person in front of you understand? And that's the most challenging thing there is. And I'm continuing to learn on a daily basis some of these strategies and some of the ways that I can be better at it. And I'm looking forward to continuing to improve my ability in those areas going forward. So I would highly suggest taking the opportunity on clinical placement to do that. And how you could do that is not be so focused on what's the right exercise or what technique am I going to use, or is my technique right? Like, those things will come over time and you're going to learn how to implement those strategies. But like, how can you sit down and have a conversation with that person? How can you listen and pick out important information in a subjective history to then later use in your future sessions to help move that client forward? How are you going to be able to connect with them so that they trust you? Little tips like writing little things down that people say that they really enjoy, or, motivational interviewing type strategies where you're questioning people to try to have them come to the answer rather than you just giving them the answer yourself. Those are just a couple little things to think about, but I really would encourage you guys to try and focus on those skills. And I'm going to give a couple shout outs here because there's some people putting out really good content about these things that I think you guys should be following and continue to check back in with as you go throughout the course of your career. So first, I'm going to give a shout out to a guy that we talk about a lot on this podcast, but he is legit putting out some really, really good content that's not only helped me and Will, but I know it's helped a bunch of people. And that's Nick Hanna. So follow him on Instagram at Hanna Moves. Top-notch content, guys. I really, really encourage you to go give him a follow. Secondly, Level Up Initiative. Me and Will have both been a part of it. We're still a part of it. And that what they're doing there at the Level Up, they offer a free mentorship program for students, and they're teaching you the fundamentals of these things, of communication, of connection, of listening, of critical thinking, all of these important skills that might not get brought up in your programs that are going to truly have a big impact on you when you step out of those doors from school. And I know it's a ways away if you're just entering, and even if you're going into your second year, you still got some time, but I highly suggest you check them out. They put out so much free information that you can learn from that there's no reason why you shouldn't be following them. Someone that we recently just did a podcast episode with that put out a book called Communication is Care, Jennifer George. Follow her on Instagram, and I highly suggest you buy her book. You can buy the hard copy or the Kindle version on Amazon. It's not a long read, and it is super, super helpful. It's not clinical in the sense of like, it's very it goes into depth in these things, but it gives you very tangible examples and strategies and steps that you can use to help form a better connection with your clients and help communicate. And I really would encourage, if you're a new student entering in and you haven't even heard of any of these ideas, buy her book and read it. It's great, and it'll be awesome to have those thoughts in your head as you go into your clinical placements or as you go throughout your program. So yeah, those would be my 3 things I would have considered more when I was entering into PT school. Guys, you're going to have a blast, honestly. And if you're in second year, it's fun. It's exhausting. You're going to meet a bunch of new people. You're going to grow and make connections with others that are going to, last a lifetime. And that's the amazing part of it. So most importantly, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Take the time, to enjoy the people around you, to enjoy the experience. It is difficult and you're going to have to do a lot of studying, but you're in the position you are for a reason. You're most likely not going to fail out of your program. So, take that extra hour or two to yourself, take that extra hour or two for your family, take that extra hour or two for friends, and just enjoy it, guys. So just to wrap up there, the 3 things I would have considered more in PT school: have or find an outlet, control your own learning, and use placement more as a way to build your communication skills, your connection skills, and your ability to educate the people in front of you. Guys, I hope this episode was helpful. If you enjoyed it or if you got something out of it, please shoot us a DM on Instagram at the Movement PTs. We'd love to hear from you. And we'd love to chat more. If you have more questions about PT school, if you have more questions about things that maybe Will or I would have considered, or you just want to have a conversation about it, we're totally open to it, and we want that. We want to build a community of people that are willing to reach out and have these conversations, because not only does it help you guys, it helps us. So please reach out to us. If you want to subscribe to the PT Coffee Cast, which we encourage you to do, head over to iTunes, subscribe, leave us a review, write a little blurb for us. It really helps move our podcast up the iTunes charts, reach more people. It also just gives us feedback of maybe how we can be better. And it also just motivates us to continue to put out content. Like, getting some kind words from you guys really, really does feel awesome. And like I've said before, it's our oxygen and it keeps us pushing forward. So if you guys could do that, we'd really appreciate it. If you want some of that good coffee, you do, head over to themovementpts.com. Get yourself a bag of the original blend. It's our blend of coffee that we put out. Me and Will sip it while we record the PT Coffee Cast. It's an easy to drink coffee. I highly suggest you grab an AeroPress and make it in the AeroPress. It's amazing. Easiest way to make coffee, smooth, consistent cup. Love it. All right, enough of that. Guys, thank you. We love you. We hope you enjoy this podcast as much as we enjoy putting it out. Go on, stay highly caffeinated. We'll talk soon. Peace.